Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys. We have been trying to record this episode for 10 minutes. Welcome. I'm your man, Charlie Eblin, and as always, we have our illustrious co-host, Mr. Derry Wells here.
What's up, everybody? I need Trent to understand. We can edit in the intro. Just hit go. Like, we can fade in. We can do all the stuff.
We'll figure it all out.
We missed 8 minutes of gold, babe. No, just
look. So I am stoked about our guest today. If you're on TikTok, you've probably already met him. But
not on TikTok. I'm on Instagram and I know who he is.
Well, because I told you.
Yeah, he didn't know who I was. So I walked through the door. He's like, "Hey, are you the next guest, or what are you here to do?" You know.
Thought I had to use the restroom. I'll wait till you sit down. Like,
so, if you have seen Golf Shop, This Is Chris, then you know who our next guest is, Mr. Chris, and I am drawing a blank on your last name.
It's okay.
Golf Shop.
Golf Shop. Yeah, Chris Golf Shop.
Chris Golf Shop. I've answered to far worse. Today.
Yeah, this morning, actually.
Yeah, well, I just finished a phone call with my wife.
Wow. Okay.
See, you're going to have to edit a lot out.
That's great.
Sorry.
It's wonderful. So let's start for the guests and viewers at home that don't know you, and give them a quick intro to who you are, what you do, and we'll dive in from there.
No, so I'm the director of golf at Hermitage Golf Course in Old Hickory, Tennessee. And about 3 years ago, we started doing, I guess you'd call them spoof phone calls over all the real questions we had gotten from people who had walked in the door, which then had morphed to other golf professionals that called and said, "Hey, you're never going to believe what's been asked. Can you please put it in a video? Because I don't have a platform to say it, and somebody's got to say it." And so that's kind of part of my gig. My full-time gig is that I just mop the floors, I take the trash out, and I get yelled at when somebody gets really, really mad. And it works out well for everybody at Hermitage because I tell everybody, I let the adults in the room make all the decisions. And I walk around like I'm busy, and then they're like, "Hey, Chris, this guy's really, really mad. Like, you need to go talk to him." And that's about 90% of my day.
That's
which it works out well for everybody.
I never understood, and I've played golf my entire life. My dad played professionally. I tried to play professionally, but I was too short and fat to play professionally. That's what the coach told me. I don't know.
That's what the coach told me.
Oh, thank you. That's twice today.
Hey, I'm on. I'm the best assistant timekeeper there is.
But I've never understood, right. and maybe it's because I just love the game so much. But I've never understood how people can get so upset on a golf course.
Oh, whatever. I don't even play golf, and I know why y'all can get upset. There is a goal, and if you were this much competitive and you think you did it right, and the wind, the bird came by and crapped on your ball, I don't care what happened, you will find a way to become infuriated. I could get infuriated for you. I could walk around and just be pissed. Give me a $5 set of clubs. I could be pissed for you because that's part of what the public loves, watching the meltdown.
But
as a non-golfer,
a bad day on a golf course is
a great day compared to anything else. You're 100% right.
I could see both sides. The thing that baffles me being on this side of the counter and managing golf courses is the amount of people who will come in and get mad because I played in 4 hours and 45 minutes instead of 4.5 hours. And it's like, we're talking about 15 minutes, Mr. President. Like, I don't know what you're doing. We're talking about 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that. I say that like, what are you doing where that 15 minutes is a big deal?
Right.
You know, hey, listen, don't get me wrong.
If your schedule's that tight, golf wasn't
your thing
today.
What you need
right?
to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes that's the stuff, I think for all golf professionals, that baffles us. I totally understand if somebody says something to you or whatever the case may be.
I get that.
I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. You've paid good money and you want to be treated a certain way. I totally understand that. I do. But to say, well, I thought I was going to play in 4.5 hours and we played in 4 hours and 45 minutes and it ruined my experience. It's like, really? You know, and then you take the aspect of, I'm this way, right?
You shouldn't have brought the cripple who's going to slow your walk down then. Like,
well, I don't
that's
know.
what you shouldn't have done. Like,
Wow.
Oh, man.
You can't tell me if I played with you last week, I wouldn't have slowed your game down.
I've seen good people.
You're not crippled.
That ankle was pretty sore last week.
Well, I've seen people who were bad golfers play really fast. And I've seen people, speaking of professionally, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, I tried to play mini tours for 2 years. And I love to eat, and I wasn't a good enough player to eat while I was out there on tour. And I was like, I got to get a real job.
Yeah.
And I was bad, but I played fast. You know, I mean, I remember going to my first professional event, and I shot 92. And but I did it really, really fast because I didn't want to slow the guys around me who were shooting 65 and 68. And the best part about it, or the worst part about it, was you have to show back up for the second round, and they're just like, God, this guy came back. You know?
No.
This guy came back.
Yeah.
One guy one time was like, hey, man, I'll just pay you the entry fee if you're afraid of losing the money. And I said, dude, if you just pay a quarter of my entry fee, I'll go home. I don't want to be here. You can clearly tell I don't need to be here. It wasn't like, I shot
Your first
90.
professional tournament, you shot 92.
I shot 92.
I like
Posted it.
But then you could go home and be like, hey, honey, I didn't make money, but I didn't lose money.
No, the problem is you did lose money because I had to buy gas, and I think I lost like golf balls, and I had to buy
trying to help.
balls.
Chris, what you don't understand is how good you just made me feel.
Well,
Because my first professional tournament, I shot 84, and I thought I was the worst golfer in America.
no. I it got a little bit better.
Where
but
did you
not much.
play?
So I did.
Your first tournament.
My first tournament was the State Open qualifier for the TGA.
Okay.
I shot 92.
Where was?
I played at Greystone,
Okay.
in which I absolutely love that golf course.
Yep,
I think it's
beautiful
always
course.
in great shape.
Yep.
They always do a really, really good job down there of running the facility. The TGA does a great job of running events, and I was like, this is, and like, I wish I had a better story to say, hey, after that, I went on and I played 13 years on tour. And the case of the matter is I went on and I missed a lot of cuts. And so I don't have that, I don't have that story, which it worked out great.
It sure did.
And
It
I
sure did.
love that I'm there. I met my wife there. I've met some of my best friends there.
That's awesome.
But I don't have this story of like, well, I shot 92 in the State Open qualifier, and then after that, I figured it out.
Right.
I figured out I didn't need to be doing this. That's what I figured out. And,
outstanding.
but I had a great time, and then I went and did some Carolina's Pro Tour in North Carolina. I did some Winter Series stuff in Florida. And then I was a caddy for a little bit for a good buddy of mine, Zach Radford, who hits like all these trick shots on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Super good guy, really, really good player. So I got that aspect of it, but then I found out like I tell this story all the time. Best round I ever shot in competition was 66. I went out, I played about as well as I could play. This dude shows up on the number one tee. I think he's still drunk. He throws up before he tees off. He probably throws up 2 or 3 more times. Probably ends up being hungover by like hole 7 or 8. He slaps it around the yard for 4 hours, shoots 67.
Oh,
and he played
man.
so bad. And I thought, I'm in the wrong side of the business. Like, I'm not beating that guy on his best day. Like, I played as well as I could play and shot 66. And after that, like, that was the last tournament I played in. And I was like, okay, I need a real job.
But you knew your limit, though.
I did.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Met some really cool people.
Yeah.
Some guys who are still playing out there. And
For us
tough.
non-golf types, you have people who love the game,
Mm-hmm.
You have tried your hand at the pro side and whatever else. There is a skill, there is an ability. How much of it comes down to, though, just the ability to hit 100 balls instead of 10, the consistency, or is just some of people are just not going to be that good, and that's just where it's at?
I think at the competitive level, at that level, you're talking about 2 or 3 shots. And it usually comes down to, there's a lot of guys who play at Hermitage that if you put them on the range and you watched them hit range balls, you're like, I bet that guy plays on tour. Like, I
Yeah.
bet he does something on tour.
Right.
The difference with the guys on the mini tours, on like the Corn Ferry and on the PGA Tour, you're talking about 2 shots a weekend.
Okay.
When you think about it.
Sure.
And it usually comes down to, and I used to know this stat, the worst putter on the PGA Tour, I think averages like 30 putts a round. The worst putter on probably some of these mini tours, or the best putter on some of these mini tours, probably average like 32 putts a round.
Okay.
Well, when you take that over 4 rounds, that's 8 shots.
Right. Okay.
And it's not anything that you can see, right, by
Sure.
watching him swing or you swing or me swing. It just comes down to he's making 10-footer after 10-footer after 10-footer, and you're only making 3 10-footers.
Okay.
And that's the difference at the top. I played with some guys when they hit it. I was like, I don't know about that.
Right.
Like, it didn't sound the same. It didn't look the same. But you put them within 120, 100 yards, unbelievable. I mean, they were hitting it. They were hitting it inside this table,
Right.
consistently.
Right.
Then you get them on the green, or you get them around the green, and they've got to get it up and down, and they're going to make par a heck of a lot more than what they're going to make bogey.
Man.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put quite that way, and like when it's just 2 or 3 shots per round or
Yeah.
weekend, like that's awesome. How much of that is the mental headspace?
A lot.
Okay.
90% of
A
them.
lot.
Okay.
And I think that's any sport, right?
Sure.
Kind of on my own page, and it's funny that you teach at Oakland. My brother was the head football coach at Blackman Middle for a long time.
Okay.
Now he's the head high school football coach at DCA.
Okay.
And I coached for a long time, and I coached with him, and I think that's every sport, that some people just have the ability to give me the ball and get out of the way. And I don't care if it's football, baseball, basketball, golf, tennis, you name it. And I do think there are some people who, when they step on their field of competition, they're able to go to a completely different universe.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, that person's got something.
Tim Grover's book about Relentless, he talks about Michael Jordan did that.
Yep.
Like when he was on the court, he was at this next level that nobody could attain to. And so I wonder that, and a lot of athletes just have the ability to be an athlete.
That's
Like they just let the naturalness take over. And I'm always curious about golf. I respect the heck out of it. I would never legitimately step out there and play it. But when I hear 3 people who play fairly regularly, I get intrigued by it just enough that I think I could buy clubs. But then I'm smart. And I'm like, no, wait a minute.
But
No,
see, here's
not.
the thing. It's a fantastic game for everybody.
Right.
Right. And the great thing about golf is the clock runs out on any other sport you play. Right.
Fair.
I mean, you're going to have, just take we're in the season of football right now. Think about how many seniors just in Rutherford County right now in 8 weeks.
Right.
That clock's going to run. They're never going to play another snap of football. Golf, you can play competitive golf your whole life. They have amateur tours. They have the TGA. And then if you don't really care for that aspect, you can play golf your entire life.
Right.
The amount of people who came out during COVID, when golf was one of the outside activities that you could do, and they just do it recreational. They don't care what they shoot. Heck,
Right.
some don't even keep score. They buy a 6-pack of beer. They're with their 3
That'd
other
be me.
buddies.
That'd
They
be
ride
me.
around, and for 4.5,
Yeah.
they go have a great time.
I'll be the golf cart driver.
We see that too.
I would completely be that
Look,
guy.
we have a nonprofit that I'm on the board of called Minutes Wisely, and we give back to veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We just had a big barbecue event the other day at the restaurant, and we're doing a tournament tomorrow here in town. And the amazing thing about golf for me is just being on the course. I'm not playing tomorrow. I'm driving around the photographer.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Like the weather's supposed to be nice. I'm going to be on a golf course all day. Like it's going to be great. Like
That's awesome.
it doesn't matter. And it doesn't, to me, like growing up on a golf course in my life has always been, I've been to so many different kinds of golf courses because after my dad's professional career, he went into being a pro. He was a greenskeeper, superintendent, and then became a sales rep for Tommy Armour Golf. And so I grew up in the game, and just being on a golf course is almost like being home.
Yeah.
Right. So,
There's nostalgia there for you.
very much
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
right? So if I wasn't on a golf course, I was cooking and barbecuing something. Like that's just what we did, right? I was on a farm with a fire, or I was on a golf course having a good time. And it's a wonderful sport that hit the nail on the head. You can be 65, 70 years old and go out and enjoy the day and have a great time and play the game.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that in baseball.
Yeah, no.
And and the great thing about golf is a lot of the golf courses that you see the tour professionals play, you can go play. Mm-hmm. There's some private courses that you can't get on, but you can go play Pebble.
Yeah.
And the Ryder Cup's here in a few weeks. I think it's at Bethpage, which I should probably know that as a PGA golf professional, but I don't.
With actual dates?
Well, that in the golf course. That's kind of a big deal. But you can go play those.
What's
You're
the
never
one-
going to stand in Yankees in Yankee Stadium
Right.
and get a fastball.
Right.
You're never going to do that.
What's
you know?
the one in Scotland?
St. Andrews?
St. Andrews.
There's a few.
But St. Andrews is what we're talking about.
Okay.
If I had, that's the one that's on the sea, right?
Most of them.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a dream golf course, it's St. Andrews, and that comes from Tiger Woods' PGA game on whatever my brother played back in the day. Because every time we went to that, and then you start to get older and you realize how beautiful that is, and like it is just awesome. If I had a bucket list of places, that'd be mine. So now that I've said that, do you have one that you've never played that you like? If I ever got the opportunity, I'd go there.
I think I went there and I watched it with the Masters.
Okay.
At Augusta. I think that's my bucket list. That or Pebble.
Okay.
To go play those two. And to talk about golf courses, I mean, there's not really many better places you can spend 4.5, 5 hours outside. They're always well kept. The weather's usually perfect when you're out there.
Don't have a lot of riffraff running around.
It's just quiet. I mean, you can kind of be with yourself, or you're with your buddies, or whatever the case may be. So there is an unbelievable amount of upside to being on a golf course. And even if you're not a golfer, and this is why I say Augusta, even if you're not a golfer, you have to go see the piece of property.
Right.
I mean, nothing's out of place. It's kept. I mean, it was the
They
most.
brush the grass.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I used to teach
Like-
with a guy that had somehow had a family connection. He'd been going since he was like 15, 20 years old. Went every year. Always on, I think, between 16 and 17, somewhere in there. Same spot, same thing every year. And that was what he talked about, was just, it's one thing, like, even non-golfers know Augusta.
Right on.
Right? Like, I mean, that's, but once, he said, once you're on that property and you see just the entirety of the landscape, he said, we make jokes about the $2 per minute cheese sandwich or whatever, but like, then you're there.
Yep.
And you see the clubhouse, and you see the blade of grass that was laid to the right, not the left.
Yep.
You know what? And he just said it's wild. So
Yeah, it's wild.
I think that'd be cool to visit. I wouldn't have any business even putting a club on the grass there, but it'd be cool. So
Yeah, it'd be cool.
They wouldn't allow you.
no, they would. No, they wouldn't. They'd see me coming a mile late. No, sir.
No,
You stay away. So
The pimento cheese is over there.
right. Your content. How much of that is rooted in the stuff that you have heard on a day-to-day basis?
Just about 100% of the questions.
Okay.
I think we did a video on like cicadas.
Right.
That's the only one that wasn't real.
Right.
The majority of those questions were asked in that pro shop.
I can't imagine. I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I would just feel like, did you really just ask me that?
Well, the best
Like,
part about it was when we first started, like it wasn't my idea. So Hermitage Golf Course is family owned.
Okay.
And so the daughter is the president, and what she's done with the place is incredible. The daughter-in-law is director of marketing, and the son-in-law is the GM. And like I said, I let all the adults in the room make the decision. So anyways, it was pouring down rain one day, and we're telling a bunch of stories, and they said, well, let's just act like you're answering the phone. And I said, I don't know about this guy. I was like, we're hardcore making fun of people.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I mean,
Yeah.
right? And so the director of marketing was at a huge ad agency before she was at Hermitage, and she said, listen, let's just do one. If it falls flat, no harm, no foul. You know, we'll just, hey, we tried something, it didn't work out. And there's a guy who's been managing the socials for us for a long time, and he said, I'll film it. And he does such a good job of filming it, answering the questions and all of that. And we did one, and it took off. And they were like, do you want to keep going? And I was like, well, yeah, if y'all want to keep going, we'll keep doing this. And so it was awesome. He goes, hey, let's just kind of start writing some ideas down, and I can make a script for you, and you can read it. And I said, oh. I said, hey, man, I
Script writes itself.
said, hey, let me tell you something. I said, the last book I read was the Berenstain Bears trial for the team. And I don't know if they made the team because I didn't finish the book. I said, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to read that script. And he didn't believe me, and since then he's been like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah,
You're never gonna be
yeah.
able to read that script.
Just-
and we just kind of riff. Like
Yeah.
we just kind of would be like, well, what do you want to do here? And I was like, well, you know, I heard this question the other day. And so we would kind of take it that way. And then we thought, okay, we could do something on like announcements for scrambles because nobody's listening. You know,
Right.
you got this rule sheet and par's your partner and you can't shoot any worse than 72 and somebody turns in 81. And they're like, you made that announcement? I said, We did, and we put it in print.
You signed the waiver that said,
You know,
right.
like you asked what tees you were playing from, and right underneath that you said you can't shoot anymore. And so we just did all of that. Like we just did what we thought would be funny, and we were just trying to entertain. And the amount of people that I've had call since and been like, you shouldn't talk to your customers like this. This is not how golf is. This is not customer service.
Right.
If you worked at my place, I'd get you fired. And eventually I was like, hey, listen, Mom, I know you're not a huge fan of my material,
right.
but just don't call every time I release a video. You know? And so, no, I mean, I had a guy stop me in the bar, and he was like, hey, man, I watch your videos. And I said, okay. And he said, you're talking about me. And I thought, oh, this guy's about to hit me. You know, like, how's this going to go? And he goes, sir, I've asked all those questions. And I said, really? And he goes, the weather, asked it. What's the radar? Asked it. Speed of the greens? I don't need to be doing that. Yardage book? He said, sir, I've asked all those questions. And I thought, where's he going with this? And he said, let me tell you something. Because of you, I've stopped them all. And I said, somebody loves you more than you know, sir. He goes, I don't know about that, but I'm not doing that anymore.
You're doing the Lord's work.
We're doing the Lord's work,
right.
you know?
That's right.
And
I was going to ask if you've had anybody come up and be like, was that one about me?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I have
Let's
people
take
all the
a
time.
quick break, and we're going to come back and dive into that.
Killing the vibe.
Sorry.
She was about to sign. The payments looked fine until I ran the numbers. They were overcharging her by $5,412. One call later, we flipped the script. Better price, lower rate, $5,000 saved. This happens every week. Before you sign, call me. The 615negotiator.com. I find what they don't want you to see.
Welcome back to Single Tree Nation, guys. We're diving right back into questions with Chris here.
Questions from the guilty. That's what it is.
Hey, there's a podcast about golf, you know?
Questions from the guilty.
Exactly right. I don't even know, but his name's Kyle. Like, I don't like that. And I'm not wrong. Kyle and Chad both cornered Chris. Hey, that was me, wasn't it? He didn't say no, by the way.
I mean, there's been a lot of people over the last 2.5 years who have come up and been like,
sure.
Is that about me?
So y'all started doing that 2.5 years ago.
Sure.
Ish.
Yeah, sure.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Heavy on the ish.
It's kind of all ran together.
Yeah.
Because I thought what we were talking about was funny.
Right.
But I thought what we were talking about was funny to a really, really, really small group of people. And who I thought would get it would be like golf professionals and people in the industry. But the amount of people who have come into Hermitage Golf Course and said, I've never played golf. I'll never play golf. I've never held a golf club. But I had to come see the place because of what you're doing online. And I think it's hilarious. And I wasn't being disingenuous because that's not lost on me that people are coming to Hermitage Golf Course. But I was like, how did you get the joke?
Right.
Like, you don't know what we were talking about. And they're like, we just thought it was great. And they'd buy a shirt and they'd buy lunch. And so it's been really cool. It's been a different way for us to be able to tell our story.
Yep.
To get people on property.
And to reach the non-golfer.
That's right.
I mean, because if you get somebody to come in and drop $50, that's the only time they're ever going to spend that $50 with you. I mean, that's 50 more than you would have had any other time. So
You hadn't bought a golf shirt in a while, huh?
I was talking about lunch.
Oh,
I thought maybe you had like a, maybe you had a.
I'm amazed at what golf shirts cost. Because after you said, I was like, oh, that's right. They're like $70 or $80. And he's like, no, I'm not
or
even.
more.
Right. Why you coming in here in that basement brand? Like, jeez.
And they drop $50. They get
Who
a
wears
tee.
heather gray to the golf course? That's what I want to know.
So,
He giggled. That'd be a problem.
what do they identify as?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that
Spring?
open. Leave me alone. I made one joke one time that I'm big fall
He's
guy.
the fall guy.
Autumn weather.
Love
I mean, like big boy weather's here, right?
Love it.
I made one joke like a year and a half ago, and I cannot get away from it. So I did the best thing. I embraced it, and now I make fun of myself with it.
That's the best way to do it.
Look, we
That's the
hadn't
best
brought
way
up
to do it.
MapQuest in a long time.
Shut up! Like whatever.
You still use MapQuest? That's how I got here. I I had it sitting in the seat.
Chris, I
did
keep a
old school.
printout. All right,
I did. I printed the directions, and I had it in the passenger seat. My wife was like, "You could use Waze," and I was like, "Wow, it's a fad. It's a fad."
I saw a thing the other day. He said that people are talking about putting accidents on Waze, so nobody will go that way. So
There you go.
Make it better.
You're still using like the TomTom, you know.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Anyhow.
All right. All right.
Expensive golf shirt's a heck of a
What a
drug.
segue we did there
Right,
to
wasn't it?
MapQuest.
Man.
Oh man.
So did you ever think that it was going to continue into what it has today?
No.
'Cause you didn't really. I mean, based off of what it looked like to me when I was going through your socials, is it really didn't look like you were doing much social prior to the golf
I
shop
did
this
none on my own page. And we hired Sam is the gentleman who manages all that for us. And we were just showing off the golf course and here's Hermitage and this is what we're doing. And we had this idea. And at first we did it on TikTok and then we started to kind of branch it into Instagram. And I don't think any of us thought it would be where it is, right? And the amount of people who would want to come in and the amount of people that it would bring to Hermitage. I certainly didn't. Again, I thought we're making fun of people. How's this going to be received? And I don't care. I love to tell jokes. I love to write. I do stuff on my own page about coaching and being married and having kids. But I didn't want to make it harder on anybody
For
else.
me, the best part that like you're dual purpose. It's not just the golf part that you come in the high school coach day one or whatever, and I'm like, this is grossly accurate. Now I know because
makes
you
it all
spit
more
right.
sense.
But the holy cow, I'm like, you're disgusting because I can have this conversation.
But the
so-
best part about that is, and somebody asked me, they're like, how do you find time to film? And I said, when my wife asked me to do something around the house.
It's really
I'm like,
easy to
I'm not
find
doing
something.
that. And she'll come back and she's like, Chris, the house is still a wreck. And I'm like, yeah, but check this video. She's like, what is that? You know?
I asked you to lay out ground beef, and you
Yeah. She said, I asked if you could vacuum. And I was like, yeah, but it's spring ball day one. You know?
We got content to
What
film.
are we doing? You know? I was like, it's homecoming week. You know?
Gosh, you have yes.
Look, I haven't gotten past the football videos, okay, because I've been going through your personal stuff to listen to those, because the Hermitage ones get me every time, so I have to space my time out. But the are you strictly football, or do you go into basketball,
I'll do it all.
hockey,
Yeah,
baseball?
I'll do baseball, basketball.
Okay.
I started doing like some 8U travel ball stuff.
Oh, buddy.
And one of the biggest videos I ever did on my own page was there's 3 reasons that you make a travel ball team. And I said, 1, you either know the coaching and the coaching staff. 2, your dad's got a lot of money and he pays for it. Or 3, you got a hot mom. Right? It's the only 3 reasons you make a travel ball team. And it just went,
Hang on, I have been in the stands at a high school basketball.
I got all
game
3 of those.
and have heard all this from high school coaches. Like, whatever. Look at her. That's the only reason he made that team. And I'm like, no, stop. But fast forward. When I first started teaching, kids would come all the time. No, I'm on the AAU team. I said, good. You wrote a check. No, we had tryouts, right? And then you wrote a $250 check. Like, that's all it was.
For the first week.
yeah, for just the shoes.
But they would
Yeah.
get so upset that I would reduce it down to, you wrote a check. I'm sorry.
It's grossly accurate.
I
It's so accurate.
I started doing it, and look, I think there's a place for travel ball.
100%. There is.
And I think there's a thing like
there's a
if
place
you're
to make
in
fun
it-
of those parents,
and
too.
I'm making fun of myself, right? I mean, like one of the videos we did on Hermitage, one of the first ones we did, I made fun of myself because when we started it, they said, "Do you want to hear the bad comments or the good comments?" And I said, "I want to hear the bad comments because we can make that funny."
Right. That's where the gold's at.
That's where the gold's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one guy was like, he looks like a middle-aged PE teacher with a bad haircut. And I was like, I'm not middle-aged, Like I thought I kept better care of my skin. So I was like, you failed that test, bud. But I just thought, okay, that'll be cool. And I thought, okay, listen, if you're gonna make fun of people online, you have to expect them to make fun back on you.
Right.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And my thought process is, if we can laugh at ourselves and one another in non-serious issues, the world would be a better place.
Amen
And
to that.
we're just having fun. We just want to entertain. And I tell people all the time, because I really did have a guy call me And he said, I just don't think you should talk to your customer like this. And I said, well, hold on. You think it's a real phone call? And I said, what do you think the odds are we set a camera up in the shop for 8 hours? I worked my entire shift. I got the same question 3 times, and we took out the other material we didn't want. And he goes, you know, when you say it like that, it makes a lot more sense. But still, if you worked at my club, I'd get you fired. And I should have let it go. I should have just said, you know what, maybe this is not for you. And I said, well, sir, that's what I'm trying to do here. I just don't know what to say. Click. But we're the right opposite at Hermitage. And that's what I also want to convey when I do podcasts or we do videos is that if you showed up to Hermitage and you had a bad experience, we're going to bend over backwards to make sure we take care of it.
Oh, hands down.
This is just a way that we entertain and we get it out. And you,
Look, as
and
somebody
you
that has played there
Hermitage
recently, your course is amazing.
Thank you.
The people are amazing. Everybody in there treated us with the utmost hospitality. We had an absolute blast. I was setting up the lunch tent on whatever hole I was on. I don't even remember now, and I had 4 or 5 people go by me. How you doing today, sir? Everything good? What can I do for you? And like, I mean, it's y'all were phenomenal.
Well, good.
Phenomenal.
Good. There's a bunch of really good people that care about the place, right? And it's not, and I think it's from the top down. I think it's from ownership down that there's such good people to work for that you want to see the place succeed.
How much of that is rooted in because it is held by the family versus a exclusive private club?
I think it's 100%.
Public, you know what I'm saying? So
I think it's 100% right. I tell people this all the time. Mr. Eller, who I think the absolute world of, he's 75. Yeah, I think he just turned 75. And a couple years ago, he wanted to start all over on the General's Retreat because he still has a vision of we can be better and we can strive to be better. And when the gentleman who's had an unbelievable career says, hey, we can be better, that trickles all the way down.
Right.
And to somebody who has put so much money back in the place for bunkers and greens, a new bar and grill. We just opened 2 new lodges. You want to work for people like that. Mm-hmm. And you want to go the extra mile for people like that. And the best part about the videos is Ashley, who's his daughter, the president. I said, hey, this was like video 5 or 6 in. And I said, hey, has your dad seen any of these videos? And she was like, I don't think so. And I said, wrong. Because when I post them on my page, it shows up. And she was like, well, he hasn't said anything to me. And so until he does, we're just going to keep going and blah, 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 whatever. Well, he's having lunch in the grill. And he says, hey, come over here and sit down. I want to ask you a couple questions. So we're talking about
this is it.
It just kind of caught me off guard. Yeah. So we're sitting down, he finishes lunch, and it's like perfect weather. And he goes, what are the odds it just rains on 11 fairway today? And I went, ooh, you've seen the videos. And he goes, seen them, I love them. He's like, we can't stop. He's like, but you make sure we keep it respectful, make sure we're not, and he kind of had a couple points of don't do this, don't do that. And I said, yes, sir. And when he gave his stamp of approval, I was like, okay, like I'm all in.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm all in, right? Because I respect him so much and what he's done and what the family's done. And I respected the staff enough that I didn't want people calling being like, why's that jerk? I didn't want any of that. Have them come talk to me.
Right.
I'm the guy doing it.
Right.
Right. And so when the staff was cool with it and when he was cool with it, I was like, all right, we just got to keep going.
You ever field any of those calls personally? Like you're like gung ho about one. Like I hope somebody like this video, that's going to be the one that gets a remark.
I miss a lot of social cues.
Okay.
And so early on, people would call in and be like, hey, what's the course record? And I'd be like, well, Annika at the Sarah Lee shot 61. And they're like, aren't you the guy that does the videos? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't want that answer. And I'm like, well, I have to keep some level of professionalism.
Right, yeah.
Like, we can't do stand-up all the time. Like, they're paying me to treat the place, And so now I kind of understand when somebody comes up and they're like, hey, what's the course record? I'm like, sir, you're going to shoot 100. What do you care? And now I kind of realize that people, they want that, which is kind of wild for me.
I can't wait till you find the angry guy. No, sir, I've never shot above a 74, and you're not going to put that hex on me.
I had a guy call and say, hey, my son and I are driving through town. We're passing through town. Do you have a junior rate? And I said, I do have a junior rate. How old's your son? He goes, he's 18.
Right.
So I thought he was kidding. And I took it as a chance to make a joke. And I said, I'm sorry. And he goes, yeah, he's 18. And he said it kind of like, come on, funny man. Like I fed you a straight line here. Right. Like do something with it.
The softball.
I did. And so I said, sir, I'm not real smart. I said, but I think we consider him an adult in all 50 states, so I don't have a junior rate for an adult. And he goes, so you won't be a smart aleck? And I thought, okay. And I said, no, And he was like, that's some bull crap that you talk to your customer like that. I never show up to your place, and hung up. And I was like, what? I thought you want to be so I have to really be careful on, like, face to face. I'll do it if I can read social cues on, okay, are you really trying to joke around? You know,
I don't have a junior course for the 18-year-old.
I didn't have, I was like, I don't have a junior rate for an adult.
Sorry.
I would cry. I would just pull up a table and watch you do your thing, and I would cry. Like,
best one is best response I had. I had this older lady come in. It gets a little heavy, but this was unbelievable. So the course is busy, and I'm kind of holding court. I'm talking to people over here. I'm talking to people over there, and this older lady walks up to me, and she had two guys with her, about my age. I'm 36, and they look to be about 36, 37, 38. And she said, hey, I don't want to take too much of your time. She said, I just want you to know that my boys and I, we've driven all the way down from Louisville to come see you. She said, my husband was your biggest fan. He caught you from like video 3 on, and we just wanted to come down and see the place. We wanted to meet you. We wanted to do all this. She said, we were very successful in this world. She said, but unfortunately, my husband and I, we put this off and put this off and put this off. We never put anything off. And she said, unfortunately, my husband passed of a heart attack before he could come down and see you. And she said, we're kind of paying homage for my husband and my sons to say, hey, we met him and everything like that. And I said, ma'am, my father passed of a heart attack in 2015. I said, I don't know what it's like to lose a spouse, but that's how my father passed and everything like that. And she said, well, there is one good thing that's come from this. And I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, and she paused. And she goes, at least my husband didn't have to waste a 3-hour trip to find out you're not as funny in person as you were on the phone.
Oh, absolutely
and
wrecked
I
you.
said, ma'am, let me tell you something. As long as I'm telling stories, I will tell this story everywhere I go. Because her boys were kind of chuckling, so I think she kind of set them up like, hey, I'm going to do this.
Thinking on that one.
And it was,
like,
her delivery was so good. So good. So good.
That's
I'll never
outstanding.
forget that.
You know, one of my questions was going to be, has anybody got you? And you got.
She got me.
That was a good one.
She got me.
So I have to ask a question out of my golf course days. I've never played golf on a golf course that had livestock
Yep.
walking around the golf course freely.
Yep.
And
pardon my ignorance.
they have sheep that walk around the
sheep.
golf course.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, please define livestock.
And it's not like
livestock.
2 or 3.
Okay.
63. 63.
63 sheep. You just get ready to hit a shot and one will just come up and say hi to you.
Yep.
So how do you keep
Go ahead.
them off the greens?
They walk. So they really won't. They stay away from the greens more than you think because they can't get down to eat that grass. They like the taller grass. That's why if you know anything about Hermitage Golf Course, there's the President's Reserve and General's Retreat. They stay mostly on the President's Reserve because the taller grass, the native grass, it's easier for them to eat, right?
Yep.
They really don't mess with the fairways much. They won't mess with the greens at all. And even if they do walk across the greens,
Doesn't hurt them?
No, doesn't harm them.
What is the clubhouse rule though if a sheep affects a play?
You got to take one home.
Oh, stop.
Got him.
Was that the answer you were looking for?
No, I'm not trying to smoke a rack of lamb over the weekend.
Why not?
Are we losing a stroke? Or are we?
No,
is it a
they
drop?
are pretty docile animals.
Okay.
They will kind of scatter and stay out of the way. This time of year is a little bit different, but like June, July, August, they're looking for shade.
Yeah, they're staying.
They're going to stay in the shade, but they really, I mean, they've kind of become almost domesticated where some of them, if you've got like chips in your cart, they'll come up and take the chips and eat it. And, you know, some of the employees are like, that's just Jerry. And I'm like, I have 3 kids. I can't keep them separate. There's no way 60 sheep, you know? And they're like, it's Jerry eating somebody's apple. And I'm like, I'm sorry? Like, is that a starter Marshall? And they're like, nah, it's sheep 21, you know? I'm like, okay, whatever. So,
Sheep 21.
Chris is out here counting ear tags. And they're like, no, it's Frank. He's been doing this all week. Like,
no, you can't stop Frank now. He's been doing this for 3 years. You know? But it started because Mike, Mr. Eller, who played at Whistling Straits in Wisconsin.
Okay.
The sheep followed him for like 3 or 4 holes. He thought it was awesome. And who I worked for, who I got in the business, who I was hired by was a guy named Jim Vernon, who, again, I think the world of. And he was at Hermitage for 25 years, PGA Professional of the Year. I mean, he's a super good dude. So Mike calls Jim from Whistling Straits and says, hey, I'm going to put sheep on the golf course. And Jim was like, why? He said, hey, pro, that looks like, Scotland out there. We're in Old Hickory, Tennessee. We don't really look like Scotland. He said, no, I'm going to do it. And so this was on like a Wednesday. And they didn't say anything else about it. He didn't say anything else about it. And like 10 days later, this dude in a tractor trailer truck shows up and he's like, hey, I got 12 sheep for your golf course. And Jim was like, I don't think you do. And he's like, no. I've been driving a long time. Those are sheep in the back of that car.
And they're not going back with me.
No. And this is a one-way trip. And he dropped them off. We started with 12. We grew to like 40-ish. Because we probably grew more to like 30, something like that, because we had gotten some more in from Virginia, and then we thought we had took care of all the males, right, where they couldn't reproduce.
Yeah,
and we missed one.
Wrong. Yeah,
and there's a guy who comes out and shears them in the spring, and he's like, "Well, that one's pregnant." And that one's pregnant. We're like, no, it's not impossible. We took care of that. And he's like, yeah, okay, I only do this for a living. And he was right.
Tell the agriculture guy he's wrong.
Right. Yeah. And so then we got to like 70 something. And now we've sold a few. And so we're like 63 sheep. But I used to tell people all the time that when I'd have to speak for the golf course, I have to tell that story or my contract's not renewed. And I joke around 100%, but it's one of the greatest marketing things that's ever been done.
So outsource all the herd management?
If you mean outsource, we do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's the thing about it. And this, I'm talking to you like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. But the sheep know the golf course so well. And it's like they know the time of day so well that we put them up at night. Mm-hmm. Just left a 10 on Presidents, which you probably saw when y'all were out playing. We let them out in the morning about 6:30. And what time is it right now? It's 6:30. I guarantee you they're standing by that pin waiting for somebody to close that gate.
Hilarious.
It's unbelievable.
They just a matter of routine.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And they kind of take the same trek every morning. They'll walk kind of down the path, come into Presidents, back to the clubhouse. They'll kind of run around there. And then, I mean, it's unbelievable.
In my mind, you get home. Hey, what'd you do today? Well, after I let the sheep out and did feeding chores, I got it. It took 5 phone calls.
Yeah.
And then I
talked to Roger for an hour.
Jeff was eating an apple.
Yeah. Jeff stole another guy's hamburger. He did it again. Food costs through the roof because it's sheep 21.
Yeah. He's healthy.
Yeah.
He's
There's
healthy.
never a dull moment in this. Like you said at the very beginning of this, the stuff starts to write itself.
Oh yeah.
Between the just the natural function of dealing with the public, day-to-day craziness, and then sport. Like you've kind of got a trifecta there of
it's an unbelievable job.
Right.
And I told somebody the other day, we see 100,000 people a year.
Wow.
They give us content willingly or unwillingly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some people know they've given us content.
Right.
Because now they've they know. Like they'll say something dumb and they're like, oh man, you're that guy. And I'm like, I'm that guy. And some people just don't get it.
Right. Right.
They're like, hey, I mean, literally guys will show up 10 minutes late to their tee time and be like, any chance you can get us out early? And it's like, I don't understand that question, sir. Like it's 1:15. You were supposed to be here for 1:10 and you just asked if we could get you out early. Anything I do now is early, I mean, I don't understand the question, And so it goes back to that whole not reading a whole lot. But it's a fantastic place. And I think it's any kind of walk of life when you're dealing with the public. The majority of the people you deal with are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're super cool.
But there's always one that stands out.
Always.
Or a few.
Always.
But yeah. That's
But I tell people all the time, my job is really cool because I get to go all over the world and I never leave Old Hickory with who's coming in.
Yeah.
You got people coming in from Europe. You got people coming in from every part of the country you can imagine, every city of the country you could ever imagine. And they're coming in from everywhere. And I wish I could say it's because of the videos. And there's probably some.
Sure.
But
they're coming down from Louisville.
All the time. Yeah, a lot of people coming in from Murfreesboro too. So, but they're coming from everywhere. And it's really cool to see that, right? I mean, because when I first started at Hermitage, just kind of the business side of it, it was a third, a third, a third. A third of play was out of town. A third of play was local. A third play was outings. And now I bet our out of town play is probably closer to 44, 45, 46%.
Wow. Okay.
And on the weekend, it's probably even higher than that. Downtown Nashville is bachelor party capital of the world.
insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. And so that presents its own challenges, right? Because you're trying to manage a place on it's Saturday, and that's usually the day where, hey, I can go play golf and I want to go out and have a good time. But I don't want to spend a year on a Saturday out there. I want to kind of clip through it. And bachelor parties, they're not intentionally trying to slow the golf course down. And I would say this to anybody. I don't think they're intentionally trying to slow the golf course down. But if I tee off at 11 and we're not going to the Southern until 7 o'clock at night, what do I care if I play fast?
Right.
I'm going to drink regardless.
Right.
I'm either going to drink on your golf course or I'm going to drink at a bar.
Right.
And so they're here. And so I don't think they're intentionally trying to do that. But that does present challenges when you've got, I don't know, I think last Friday we had 12 groups of 12 or more people, all bachelor parties.
Wow.
So there is kind of there's a balance there in the business that you have to try to keep an eye on to make sure you're kind of keeping an eye on everything that's happening.
It's crazy. Look, we truly believe in storytelling as far as a business model. A friend of mine named Sean Walsheff says, you can build it, but doesn't mean they're coming. Right? You have to go tell your story. And he built his restaurant and nobody showed up and they had to figure out how to do it. I've built my business off of that. Yeah. We started the show. We do a lot of social and stuff like that as well. How do you think the business has changed from what it was prior to answering the phone to what it is today?
I think, I think for golf in general, I think it changed during COVID. Golf, as bad as COVID was for the world, golf took an unbelievable spike across the country, across probably you can even say the world. So we saw a really big rise since COVID, and so I wish I could say, man, I think the videos have brought in X amount of dollars. Have the videos brought in people? Without question. I think it's done a job of reaching people who maybe had never heard of Hermitage Golf Course, but they're a golfer, they're local, or they're in a state that touches Tennessee. They're on social media. They saw our videos pop up because I've had that quite a bit. Hey, I didn't know where Hermitage Golf Course was until I saw your video. And so I think it just put eyeballs on a golf course in Old Hickory, Tennessee that is trying to do it right. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. There are days we do it despite ourselves. And I have no problem telling the staff that. The majority of the time, we're doing it because we are active in making you have one of the best times you could ever have on a golf course. So I think it put eyeballs on a place that we were doing it right. We're trying to take care of people. We understand that, hey man, you're spending $115 of your hard-earned money. You want to have a great time. Well, we want you to have a great time. And so I think it just put eyeballs on a golf course that maybe people had never heard of. And I don't know if it's so hard to say what it's done for that tee sheet and bottom line and top line, because guys, since about June of 2020, the place has not stopped.
Wow.
We're very fortunate. We're very blessed.
Yeah.
And that's not just us. I don't think it's just married to Hermitage Golf Course. I think that's all of golf.
Yep.
But we're very, very fortunate and blessed that since 2020, I mean, the place has been really, really busy.
Do you think the Live Golf Tournament or Tour is made as big of an impact as something like COVID did?
For play or for eyeballs? I think probably so. I mean, I think anything that's new and it pulls some of the top players in the world from the biggest tour in the world, I don't know how it couldn't bring people to the game.
I was talking to my dad was watching a Live tournament not too long ago, and he is in his late 70s. And so golf to him is persimmon-headed woods and steel shafts and spikes, right?
Yep.
Which we have none of those anymore, right? So, like, I say that because he's a very traditionalist when it comes to golf.
Yep.
So one of the things he said to me, he's watching this tournament, he was like, I can't believe this crap. They're wearing shorts on tour. yeah, they're wearing shorts. Yeah.
Is
What
that
difference does it make?
faux pas?
So on the PGA
For a
Tour,
long
you're not
time.
allowed to wear
Yeah.
shorts.
Okay.
You have to wear pants.
Okay.
I mean,
Long
hoodies.
pants.
You know, I'm wearing a golf hoodie.
Yep.
And we sell them in the shop, and
Yep.
and I've been in the golf
Can I get
business.
that for $50?
I mean, you could probably get this one for $50.
That particular one.
But
yes.
the other thing about it is, I'm not in the business to break even.
Right.
You know? I mean, 10 years ago, you would have never thought
No.
we would sell hoodies in a
Right.
in a
No.
in a pro shop, or that you would see Rory and some of those big names wearing them out on tour. And so I think golf. Well, I mean, listen, I played every sport growing up but golf. I didn't pick up golf till I was 19 years old, and I think golf, how people viewed it 20 years ago, let's call it, when I was 16, and how people view it now, it's vastly different. You know, I think it's a little more.
Well, 20 years ago, you didn't work out to play golf.
It's true. And I think you can thank Tiger for that. And,
Yeah.
And I, you know, and so I think now, I see more people who, and this is purely just walking around and listening to the facility, people who are just coming in to have a good time.
Yeah.
They don't care what they shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have those guys who want to go out and try to shoot 74, 75, 76. And we have a really cool feature at the golf course that your first beer is what you shoot. So if you shoot 89, your first beer is 89 cents.
Oh.
If you shoot 90, your first beer is 90. And it's a cool way to get people back into the clubhouse and get people back into the bar grill, and you can have some friendly banter behind the the bartender and be like, man, your first beer is $1.35. How'd you shoot 135? And it looks like you're missing 4 holes here.
Right.
So you really shot about 160. And
How did you double?
yeah, you doubled a hole you didn't even play, sir. And so I think there's that banter back and forth that I think people want to be entertained,
I love it.
and so that's what we try to do.
Derry, you got a macro beans for us?
Yeah, I got mac and beans. So mac and beans are this or that. So you walk into your favorite barbecue restaurant. Are you ordering the mac and cheese or the barbecue baked beans?
Barbecue baked beans.
Okay, well, he didn't even hesitate.
No, that was
Right
quick.
there.
Yeah.
So now my other that, and I've tried to be kind of cool about golf, and I don't, just so bear with me. You play holes 1 through 17, and you birdie all of them. And hole 18, you do 17 over. You're at par. Do you want to play that round, or do you want to play a round where all 18 holes are par?
Oh, that's a great question. I would ask, why do we play all 18 holes? I'm sorry.
We're not 25.
I'm sorry. That is a fantastic question. I think I'd want to play the first one.
All right.
And I don't really have an answer. In my mind, making 17 birdies would be pretty cool, because I'm not sure I've made 17 birdies in my entire career over the course of all my rounds. But I think that would be pretty neat.
Right.
Because
Because you're finishing par either way.
you're shooting even par.
So I want to sit here and think that I did. Now, for some people who have probably never hit par,
Right.
If you parred 18 holes in a row, I mean that would be nearly.
Derry, I got to
just
tell you, for a non-golfer, that is a phenomenal
It's a
question.
great question.
Look, I come here to.
But I'm going to have to agree with Chris. The 17 birdies in a row, all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. Because I'll tell you, and here's why, and I have a reason why, is my very first professional golf tournament. One of the guys in my threesome shot 72 that day, and he parred all 18 holes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was never missed a fairway, never missed a green, and 2 putted.
Yeah.
I mean, every time. Every time.
Yeah.
And I shot 84, and I had way more fun shooting my 84 than he did shooting his 72.
Yeah, because you probably made a couple birdies.
It was boring to watch him play.
It was all methodical.
Now,
Like,
granted,
here.
yeah, he made the cut and I didn't.
Right.
But
He got to eat that week.
yeah, he didn't.
He had potential to get paid, and I went home. But
yeah. We had ramen for dinner, and yeah.
I
But-
just think that the idea of 17 birdies would, if you're going to finish par, let's be honest, from a golf standpoint, a lot of guys would love to say consistently they can finish par.
Sure.
So I gave you that. That's the softball part. You're par either way. I think if you're sitting there making the kind of shot or 2 putting on the green to where you're hitting birdie every time, especially on like some, par 3 hole where it's just bang, bang. They were really good, clean shots. That'd be awesome. And that's my non-golf take.
Look, I don't know about Chris, but I will tell you, I get 2 birdies in a row, and I feel like I am on cloud
Yeah, oh
nine.
yeah. I mean, I'm calling my wife and like, I know you probably don't care about this, but I just birdied 3 and 4. She's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, okay, you're right. I probably didn't.
Right.
I think I'm the only guy.
Though, baby.
Yeah, no, she's like, you probably made double, and I was like, okay, I went back-to-back bogeys, but that's pretty good. I tell
was
people
so
all the
close.
time. Yeah, I hit a decent shot. I mean, I got it.
all
there,
my
but-
shots are spread over 3 holes. I birdied 2.
Yeah, I tell people all the time I was the only guy. I think I'm the only guy in mini tour history. I hit all 18 greens and shot 77. I 3-putted that many times. And the guy who didn't keep my scorecard, like you said, I'd hit the fairway, I'd hit the green. And he's like, man, that guy had to fire the course record. And he's like, I don't talk to that guy. And he's like, what? He seemed pretty nice. He's like, dude, he shot 77. And he's like, no way. You kept my card. And he's like, no, dude, I just couldn't putt. So to say I made 17 birdies or to say I made 2 birdies, if I made 2 birdies, I'd quit.
Chris, like, that's it. I'm in the clubhouse.
Yeah, you know how like people hit a hole in one, they're like, oh, you
Yeah.
gotta buy drinks, like let's go. If I birdied a hole and then I followed it up with another birdie, I'd
Yeah.
say, hey boys, y'all just let's go to the bar.
I'll catch y'all.
I don't really drink, but let's go to the bar.
I'll be having seltzer and water. Y'all just
That's
take
it.
me up on the way out.
Hey, I just,
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
think people understand. Like you see people do it on television, or you see people do it in a college event, or even a high school event, or whatever the case may be. I don't think people understand how good a round of golf it is to shoot even par, or even to break 80, to break 78. I don't think people truly understand. Like the golfer doesn't understand the amount of force and energy you have to generate to hit a golf ball 300 yards.
Right.
I used to fit when I got in the business. I used to fit for Titleist. And the amount of people who'd be like, yeah, I hit it 300. And I'm like, I don't think you do.
No.
And I'm not being mean, but like the amount of force and energy you have to strike that golf ball.
You may
with.
have done it once.
Right.
You are not going to go do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
And because it was a created character on PGA Tour, that does not mean that translates into real life.
Yeah.
It should have seen
No,
the way
it
I hit the
doesn't.
ball on top
You know,
golf. It was
yeah, I got that backspin, man. And to say, hey, look, you hit it 250, 260, like that is
Still
great.
respectable,
That's
yeah.
great, guys.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a hard game.
Yeah.
It's a hard game.
It is a very hard game.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a great game, and I'm fortunate to be where I'm at, but it's a hard game.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I said, even
Yes.
though, like the people are like, oh, you walk 18 holes. That's the toughest part about it. First of all, no, it's not.
Right.
Secondly, the person, the non-golfer me, I will always respect what is happening. Just the physics behind it don't always make sense.
Right on.
I mean, and I saw a graphic today that they were talking about ball placement based on what club you're using, and it should be out in front.
Sure.
Or, you know what? And I'm like, I would never. Like, I just, to me, you've always just gone out there and you hit the ball, you know. So I respect the game wildly, but I think it's fun that somebody in your spot can step back and be like, hey, you know what? Let's just have some fun with this. Like, it doesn't have to be so tight gripped, white
That's right.
knuckled all the time.
That's right.
And I think it's a blast. So
I think
you got a
everybody-
fan out of me.
Well, I appreciate that.
From golf
thank
and
you.
from just content and stuff. So well done.
Well, what's on
good
the
game.
what's on the horizon for Hermitage?
We just opened 2 lodges, right? So now we have 8 cottages and 2 lodges, so we can sleep a total of 64 people. So that's exciting. Literally, when I say we just opened them, we opened them up Monday after Labor Day,
Oh, okay.
Tuesday of Labor Day, and so that's it, right? I mean, it's trying to keep going what we've got going, right? And I know that sounds cliche-ish, but that's it. Like we just want to keep going what we got. It's a good thing. It's a good place with a lot of really, really good people. So yeah, there's no real big plans for Hermitage other than just try to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Are we continuing the social media? Are we got anything from a social standpoint that's going to grab attention differently than it does now?
Yeah. We're going to keep doing it. We've jotted some ideas to do like some more theatrical type stuff, right? And maybe not so much of the golf shop videos, which we'll still do some of those. But we're going to film some stuff like we did. I don't know if y'all saw the video of like the TSA, where we act like we're checking the guy
Yeah.
coming through TSA and we
Yeah.
dump the bag out and he's got iron covers. Like we're going to do more of that. You know,
That's great.
We're going to do more of that.
I need you to incorporate the sheep. I like work them in.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'll do that without probably taking off some of the sheep and messing up the herd there, but
I'm trying to think if we did. Did we do something? We did something with Two Rivers Ford is one of our. It's our corporate sponsor.
Okay.
And we did something sheep power. Okay. We did a video instead of like horsepower. I was like, "What's the sheep power?" And I was like, like we have the metric system and all of that. Like, how do you convert that to sheep power? And the people from Two Rivers were great. They were so much fun with that. And so we had a lot of fun.
I don't know why my head just went to like Mario Kart.
Tossing a banana sling.
Like something like I don't know, but yeah.
And that's what I enjoy, right?
Chris can be out there on a golf cart next time.
Yeah.
Like
that's it.
Drifting.
Like North Carolina dirt track,
Seeing Sheep 21 steal somebody's hamburger.
Oh, man.
They get an automatic birdie
Sheep
on that hole.
21 doesn't even know he's made the show, and he's now a star.
I had a guy ask me where we bought the deer from.
They came natural.
I did. He said, "Did you buy?" And again, maybe the guy thought it was going to be a bit.
Yeah.
And he said, "So do y'all buy the deer from the same place you bought the sheep?"
I just answered, "Yep."
I said, "No," and he was shocked. I said, "The deer live. I mean, they're kind of like around here." And he's like, "Oh, I thought maybe y'all got like a deal."
Yeah, we got 2 for 1 deal.
Yeah, it's a BOGO. If you buy 30 sheep, we'll throw in 8 deer. And so
guaranteed one
it's
reproduction.
awesome.
You'll get a set of fawns. We're good to
It's
go.
awesome, man. I mean, it's
outstanding.
It's outstanding.
It is. It is.
It's outstanding. No, we're never short of content. And I heard some comedians who I think are really, really funny and stand-up comedians. I was fortunate enough, I got to meet a guy named Jeff Allen who has his own podcast as well, and Jeff's a stand-up comedian for 40 years, and he asked me to do a thing with him at the Anti-Predator Project at Zany's. And so I got to do Zany's, which was really, really cool. And then I played, but I heard them talk about like your jokes and how you craft your jokes, and like you need to look on the world on, I can't believe that happened to me too. I can make that funny. And when you see it through that lens, anything and everything can be funny. And I just thought that was so cool, hearing that from him and then hearing from other comedians that I watch their podcasts and I think the world of. They all kind of have that attitude on, you just have to kind of be on the lookout for the most mundane task. How can I make that funny?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what some of us do at Hermitage, and it just kind of seems to work out from time to time.
That rocks. That's just great.
I need to do some more funny content. Yeah. How can I make a pig funny?
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
Like that could write itself. Just
I was gonna say I think y'all had a pretty good episode till about the 58-minute mark.
I fell flat at the end, boys.
We didn't know how to land the plane right there. We had a pretty good show up until the 58-minute mark.
What went bad? Charlie started talking about pigs.
I don't know. He said something about making a pig funny, and I just kind of got weird from there.
Yeah.
Leave it to the barbecue guy.
That's right.
Yeah. You got a Friday feel good for us, Derry?
Look, don't take life so serious. We've obviously had a great time in here today. You can laugh, you can enjoy. There are traumatic experiences that obviously impact you, but your day-to-day lifestyle, your day-to-day events, they are usually not that serious. Learn to laugh, learn to enjoy life. Find somebody you know, tell them you love them.
It's outstanding. Chris, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We appreciate it very much. Y'all get a tea time. Go see my man Chris up at Hermitage. If you want to get involved with the show, please feel free to reach out to me. You can call me at 615-307-0120, or you can email me at charlie@singletreebbq.com. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Y'all be good.